everyone, welcome to our Love Your Skin series. Hopefully you've watched some of our other videos and we've already talked about cleansing, and now we're going to talk to you about exfoliation. So the exfoliation stage a lot of people miss. If you've got a really simple skincare regime, perhaps you cleanse, perhaps you even just moisturise. I think lots of people miss this one out, and it's actually probably one of the most important steps, exfoliation. So I think if you've got a really basic routine and there's one thing you can take away from this and one thing to add to your routine, it would be exfoliation. We're just going to give you a bit more information as to why exfoliation is so important and how it helps your skin, and then we're going to go through a few of the products that we've got here at Vita. So I'm joined by the lovely Laura, skin therapist here at Vita and dermatological expert, and we're going to tell you a little bit about exfoliation. So Laura, why do we need to exfoliate? What's actually happening to our skin if we don't exfoliate?
Very good question. Basically, if you don't exfoliate, all your lovely moisturisers and serums that you are putting onto your skin, if you think you're being very good, are being absorbed by your dead skin cells, which end up falling off anyway. So you're wasting your product. To make the benefits of your moisturisers and serums and all the facials that you have here at Vita benefit you further, is to make sure that we are working on your more youthful skin cells, which are lying underneath those old ones. So the only way to get rid of them is to gently exfoliate. There are rougher and more abrasive exfoliants out there, and I want to say to people, try and stay away from them unless they are professionally applied. We're talking chemical peels, fruit acid peels, and anything in that kind of category. We're going to talk to you today about retail and professional use exfoliants, which provide a very thorough exfoliation, but without leaving your skin feeling raw and malnourished. So they start off in a general kind of gentle to more abrasive spectrum, don't they? So if you have a very sensitive skin type, you want to go nice and gentle to begin with. Now this can be as simple as finding a cleanser with little enzymes in it that nibble away at the dead skin cells. This way you're not actually using any physical scrubbing abrasion onto the skin, which can cause further sensitivity. So that is for the very, very, very gentle exfoliant skin types where there is sensitivity levels that need to be applied, thought of. This can also be if you've got sun damage, as in very fresh sunburn. We would always say avoid exfoliation, but equally those skin cells start to damage over time as well. So we say to give your skin a chance to heal, but then go in gently with a gentle exfoliant to work on that as well. Particularly around the eyes is another one. People always think tough exfoliation around there, but the skin around the eyes just can't cope with it. So everything is gentle to begin with, and you can build up your tolerance depending on how well your skin responds to things.
And different people like the feel of a different exfoliator.
Oh, it's very subjective. I love a good grainy one, but I know people who like the feel of something tingling on the skin and nibbling away without having any of those grains and fibres and everything else in there. What kind of exfoliant do you like to use? Which one do you use?
I use Rapid Reveal Pill. So I'm using a really strong exfoliation, but just once a week. And actually Hannah and I yesterday, when we talked about cleansing, we said maybe I should add in daily microfoliant or daily superfoliant for a daily exfoliation. And I do really like the feel of those two things. But for me, Rapid Reveal Pill is just kind of quick fix, does a great job. It's the highest grade exfoliation. But if I'm exfoliating with the daily, I quite like the rice. I don't like something too harsh.
Yeah, so you like a more gentle feel of the physical. Yeah.
What about you? What do you?
I love a tough grainy one. I do. So something like the multivitamin thermofoliant. That is very tiny particles, but it just feels like, it's awful to say this, it feels like sand. I love going to the beach and really rubbing any bits of sand into my legs and getting kind of a free exfoliation there at the beach. It's a similar sensation, I feel. It's very, very grainy, very fine molecules, and your skin just feels so soft after. But for some, that is not the option. They prefer having something that is far more delicate, and that particular one that I'm describing there, you can't use every day. Nikki's one, she can't use every day because they are both on the strong spectrum. So the ones that you can use daily are Skin Prep Scrub. This is the one that you would use if you were a beginner to any skincare routine, or for men in particular. Men tend to be quite lazy with their skin. So this is a good introduction because it doesn't have any kind of very floral scents. This is using walnut shell particles as the grains, but they're quite big grains. grains. So again, you're not getting that kind of feels like it's clogging the pores or that it's sandy sensation like I was just explaining. It's actually quite a gentle one, and for men in particular, I would say that it's very good for a thicker skin. So you're talking about people who work outdoors. This is a good one just to get them started. But you're not going to see amazing results on super anti-aging or seeing reduction in wrinkles and wrinkle depth by using this one. It's not strong enough, but it's a good beginning start, and it is really pleasant to use. Occasionally, if I'm using it on a client in a facial, I'll pop a little bit on the back of my hand and then rinse it off at the end of the facial, and I'll find that even that is just really, really lovely. It's normally if I've got used a little bit too much, but it is a really, really nice one. It's just gentle, so that is definitely the beginner one.
And another gentle option, I guess, if you love a natural product, or if you really like our Renew and Illuminate facial, which we do from Natural Spa Factory, that's a really nice gentle one. So using the rice bran as the exfoliator.
So the Illuminate facial polish is, I would say, similar sensation to that one. It's slightly larger particles, but with rice and bran in there as the exfoliation particles instead of anything finer. But because of the rice content in there, you actually get a really gentle softening of the skin as well. So I'd say that's also good for a very sensitive skin or somebody who's new to exfoliating. So that's a really lovely, and the smell is delicious.
The smell, if you've had our Renew and Illuminate facial, you'll know the smell of the whole Renew and Illuminate.
The whole range is,
so nice.
is gorgeous. So you're looking at honey, vanilla, rice, what the other ones, the bran and the oats, all just really, like you want to eat them all. They're just lovely. The next on the daily exfoliants that are safe to use are the Daily Superfoliant and the Daily Microfoliant. Now, the Microfoliant is one of Dermalogica's hero products. It's probably one of the first ones that was about. Is it the bestseller? Yeah. So this is the one that a lot of people love to have in their daily skincare routine because of its beneficial brightening effects on the skin, but also the fact that it is gentle and something that they can even add to their cleansers if they're in a bit of a hurry rather than using it individually.
And it's really good in the shower, although don't keep it in the shower. My husband tried that, and when it gets wet, it's not good. But really good if you want to, especially for men, if you just want to do a quick routine, you want to use a cleanser in the shower, you want to quickly exfoliate, jump out the shower and you're done. It's quite a good one because you mix it in with water. You can just sort of do it in the shower and wash it off.
Definitely, yeah, I agree. So the key ingredient, what am I trying to say?
Process?
No, how it looks. It's a powder. That's what I'm trying to say. So it starts off as being a powder and you add water to it. So this is where it can become something that's very customized to yourself. So some people might want it more as a paste. Some people may want it a little bit more watery, which will feel less grainy on the face. But regardless of both of these, it will have a form of environmental factor on the skin as well. So it will end up with the skin feeling very soft and nourished after. The Microfoliant has a brightening effect. That's what I really love about that one. But the Superfoliant is designed to be part of the Age Smart range because of its anti-pollutant side. So they both come in a form of a powder. The Microfoliant is white, Superfoliant is a charcoal colour. And we have one of our testers here to show you exactly what happens with this one.
So this is a great choice for anyone there's a lot of people who are travelling into the city, there's pollution everywhere, but certainly if you're going into the city all the time and you're around a lot of pollution, then it's really good to change up from Microfoliant to the fairly new Superfoliant because it's much more based around the pollution.
So you really wouldn't use a lot. You're looking at maybe a pea size to a little bit more than that in the palm of the hand. You add a few drops of water and you would normally maybe do this just in between your hands. I'm going to show you just with the brush to show you how well that goes. And you'll find that it starts doing this kind of almost bubbling effect and it just doubles in size. And this over time, when you start using it, becomes quite an active solution on the skin. So you've still got grains there, but with the charcoal content as well, this is where the antitoxin and anti-pollutant quality comes in as well. So that you would use as a normal exfoliant all over the face. And as Nikki said, it's probably quite handy in places like the shower because you can just rinse off again. Be prepared with anything this sort of colour to get a little bit messy in the sink though. That is just a normal thing that comes alongside it. But the Superfoliant, the qualities behind this one, because of the anti-pollutant side of it, is really, really good, not just for the city dwellers, but also people more rural because of pesticides in the areas. So that is something that actually sits on the skin and has an environmental aging factor on the skin. So that's a great one to use as a daily part of your daily routine alongside your cleansing and normal moisturising. But as we said in the beginning, you will not get benefits from your moisturising if you've got dead skin cells to begin with. So it's always good to have an exfoliant as part of your skincare routine. So the daily superfoliant and daily microfoliant are, as I said, next on the spectrum of strength. And then, believe it or not, the next one in the line of strength is something called Gentle Cream Exfoliant. Now this is one that is retail only, and don't be fooled by the name Gentle. It's actually very, very, very strong. So this is something that we apply almost as a mask. It's got a white cream consistency to it. And with this one, you've got alpha hydroxy acids that nibble away at the skin cells. So you would leave it on as a mask anywhere between 2 and 7 minutes, depending on how well your skin feels it can cope with it. But this is also a good one for backs of the hands because you can get on with things without having to worry about knocking anything off and not having any grains or anything there or getting too messy.
And how does it feel in the skin? Does it feel quite strong in the skin?
It can do. Again, I've always had quite tough skin, so I find that it's got to be really strong for me to feel it. But say you had a normal skin type or even a combination one with like a little bit of dry or sensitivity there, that you might want to just do a little bit of a patch test first on one area of your skin first and just see how you get on. The idea behind this was it was known as gentle because of the fact you can wear it as a mask and get on with things while it's doing its work. But you can overuse it because of the enzyme content in there. So it's perfectly safe. You just need to not overuse it. I wouldn't say put the mask on and then have a 20-minute natter with your mum on the phone. You want to make sure that you've got a timer on there, and it's, as I said, between 2 and 7 minutes is plenty of time. Some people even like to do little circular motions in there if you want to, just as a face massage, but there's no need for it because it's doing its job anyway. There's no grains in there, it's completely smooth. You'd think you were putting a mask on, it's that smooth, it's lovely. And it can smell really good as well. So that is quite a strong one. On par with that one is the one that I really like, which is again part of the Age Smart range, which is the Thermofoliant. So this is the really grainy, thin grain one. What I really love about this, and people will get what I mean when I say this, if you suffer with enlarged pores, you kind of feel like it's kind of really deep cleansing them. I like to really get in around the creases of the nose with this one. But because of the term thermofoliant, I must warn people that if you add a little bit of warm water to it, you have a thermal reaction. Now that it is meant to do this on purpose, and that is because it helps to open the pores up and loosen and soften the dead skin cells in the process. And then as you rinse off, more of them come off in the process. So we never say to use very hot water with this. Tepid or lukewarm water is perfectly okay, and you'll still get a warming sensation with that. It's really, really lovely, that one though. And then, completely forgot about these. So this is another daily one, is something called Daily Resurfacer. People forget about this one because it's really unusual. It comes as kind of a little finger puppet.
Quite nice for holiday though, isn't it? If you
really
just want
good
to
for
take
travel,
a couple
yeah.
of them with you. They come individually packaged. So
yeah, so this is a pot of
travelling.
30 sachets of these little kind of fabric finger puppets that have been soaked in alpha hydroxy acids. So this is, and hyaluronic acid as well, which is, of course is our key ingredient for hydrating the skin and plumping the skin. So you get a double whammy with this one. It doesn't just exfoliate, it hydrates as well. So this one is actually one that they say to leave on the skin, which is really rare for exfoliants. So with this one, you would cleanse as normal, then exfoliate using your little finger puppet, which has been soaked in the solution. You can get quite a lot of use out of this one as well. So you can go all over the forehead. You can go as close to underneath the eyes as well. Again, edges of the nose. Make sure you've covered absolutely everywhere. It's safe to go over the lips. You can even go behind and inside the ears. It's safe to do that. Bring it down the throat. And I always find there's still some left that I can do back of the hands and even elbows and knees if there's some left on there. And you just leave it there because it's doing its job. It is helping everything surface and soften, and then it actually makes your moisturiser go further as well. It does have a high hyaluronic acid smell to it though, so this is one that I would say is more on the scientific smelling side of things, less floral, less scented. But that's where your moisturisers come in and make the difference with the nice smells. But that's a really good one, especially as Nikki said.
With Dermalogica, we've also got the brand Resume here at Vita. And that's kind of a different way of doing things. They don't have an exfoliator, but instead they have the properties of an exfoliator within your night cream. So maybe if you're a bit short for time and you don't want to add lots of steps into your routine, this is maybe a way to do it if you don't want to. If you want to have some products that are doing more than one thing, because the Resume, they have the exfoliation stage at night.
Mm.
So tell us a little bit about Techno 5, and then we've also got the Omega High Impact, which is a really popular one, isn't it?
It is. It works really well, especially if you come into Vita for your resume facial anyway, but it can be used as a standalone product as well. Me and Nikki are actually both big fans of resume full stop, because we were the ones that kind of ended up trialling and everything before it came in. The Techno 5 in particular, it's a really interesting consistency, because a lot of people think with serums that they're very oil based and that you get this instant nourishment. This does not do that because of the exfoliation side of things. It's the nanosides and the peptides in there. So it's got almost a cream to water consistency. So as it pumps out, you normally only need 1 to 2 pumps, maybe 3 if you really want to cover maybe the décolleté and throat area as well, but 2 pumps should be sufficient. And you would use this in layers, so you could use it on your own, on its own, but you wouldn't have that kind of nourished sensation. It's better to layer it underneath a night cream or a day cream. But the one thing that you cannot do is layer it with the night cream, which also has the peptides and the AHAs in there, the alpha hydroxy acids, because they're both exfoliators, so your skin would just end up feeling very, very tingly. But as we said before, with some exfoliants, having a tingle there is really good, but a burning is bad. You would probably get a burn if you layered these two together. So Omega High Impact is a night complex, very thick moisturiser, which continues to exfoliate the skin overnight. So as Nikki said, if you're kind of stuck for time, or you don't want to add all these extra stages into your facial or your skincare routine, it's good to have just a cleanse and then this night complex, and then a cleanse in the morning, and then your day cream. But one thing that must be stressed with the resume products with exfoliants that you leave on overnight, they have to be washed up in the morning, because it neutralises everything and then stops it working. If you were to leave your night cream on and then just start your day, it continues to exfoliate. This isn't dangerous unless you did it every single day for a long time. But what we want you to do is get the best out of your skincare routine and the products that you take away with you. So the best thing to do is to exfoliate overnight in your beauty sleep, because as you sleep your skin cells regenerate anyway, but has the added benefit of working on nibbling away at some dead skin cells in the process as well. So then when you wash your face in the morning, you're washing off those dead skin cells, but the ones underneath have been nourished and replenished at the same time. So it's kind of a double whammy, which is really, really good. The T5 as a serum is great underneath any night cream anyway, so you can use that under a dermatological product if you wanted to, if you've got a night cream that you particularly like. So that's quite nice as well, that you can kind of mix and match.
And what about people who don't exfoliate? We're talking about a morning and a nighttime routine here. So if they're thinking, well, I don't exfoliate, aside from the night ones that we were just talking about, is it better for them to exfoliate in their morning routine or their evening routine, or is it about when they've got time?
Again, I suppose it's what kind of exfoliant you like to use as well. If you're somebody who likes a good strong one, maybe they'd like the Rapid Reveal pill like you use, because then you're only having to do it once a week, which means that you're minimising your daily skincare routine, which is great. You can just stick to a cleanse and moisturise.
Because I don't want to put makeup on afterwards.
Perfect.
Sometimes I get a little bit of redness from the Rapid Reveal pill, so I try and do that at night time and kind of have it more as a treatment, because the Rapid Reveal pill you leave on for around 7 minutes, depending on your skin tolerance.
Your tolerance,
so I like 7 minutes. I think you start at 3 from memory.
You build it up.
And then you can leave it on for longer. So the Rapid Reveal pill is great. You can also do a section at the beginning where you kind of boost it. So you can do a few initially, and then you can go to once a week. Now I'm on my once a week, and I've been using it since I think June last year. But yeah, I like to do mine and then not put any makeup on, because it's a bit like a mask really. Again, you're leaving it on for that time, and then
probably getting the best benefit out of it as well. But I totally don't judge people if they decide to put makeup on after a facial, but I always feel like you're kind of going backwards a stage, because you've just got to cleanse all of that off after anyway, which then takes off all the loveliness that we've just put on there as well. So it's always better to leave your skin if you can. But as you said, it's always good to maybe decide what your exfoliant choice is, dependent on what your skincare regime consists of, whether you want it nice and easy. I know people that don't use exfoliants at all, but they do use the exfoliation mitts, which are really, really gentle, and people forget about them. So they tend to use the pre-cleanse on its own, or the pre-cleanse balm, but they will use the exfoliation mitt, which have a couple of the silicone nodules on there, which help with a gentle exfoliant, because they prefer the feel of that as a gentle cleansing exfoliant to using a grainy or even a alpha hydroxy acid peel or nibbling sensation. Anything active as an exfoliant, that's enough for them, which is fine. It will still do something, but it depends on the results that you want at the end of it as well.
So those are kind of all your at-home things, and the Rapid Reveal Pill is right at the end of almost a salon treatment, but being able to do it at home. And then if you want to think about a higher exfoliation, then you can come in for your skin treatments. So for instance, in our Pro 60 Dermalogica Facial, we have lots of other exfoliants that aren't available to use at home, which we can use in the professional treatment, but also we can mix them. So all our therapists are trained to mix and kind of make a bespoke exfoliation, which can be much stronger than an exfoliation you'd get at home. And then also we've got our peel, so we've got the Regimen peel. So again, one step more, a really good exfoliation. We've got the microdermabrasion, Skin Breeze microdermabrasion.
Yeah, Skin Breeze.
So lots of different treatments that we can do here to give a stronger exfoliation than what you can get at home. We are going to be talking more about the treatments later on in the month, so do subscribe to the channel and you'll be able to see some of our treatments in action and some treatment demos. But certainly with exfoliant, I would say come in and see us, come in for a free skin consultation, and we can chat to you about what you like the feel on your skin, what your skin's tolerance might be, what you've used in the past, and we can find the perfect exfoliator for you, because there's a lot to choose from. And if you've not been exfoliating, then it's trying to find something that's right for you. But definitely, if you don't exfoliate, then it's a great one to add into your routine. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in more of our videos through Love Your Skin Month.